Go. Hey, my name is Mike Green with the Dental Practice Insiders, and today is our live event. It's streaming live over on Facebook. We will be putting this recording on YouTube, our YouTube channel as well. And for those of you that are joining the webinar directly through Zoom, I want to welcome you. And at the Dental Practice Insiders, we're going to be releasing a lot of this kind of content that we've been working on over the past year and share it with you in this way. Again, in a free way. I want you to be able to take this information and apply it directly to your practice and the things that you're trying to accomplish in your particular neighborhood that you're serving and treating. Today, we're going to be talking about attracting families to your practice. It's an extremely important topic. We're going to be diving into a few different strategies, different types of families, but ultimately, you need to know exactly what type of families that you're trying to treat and what type of families that you're targeting. So let me go ahead and share my screen here real quick, and we'll jump right into it. Now, I will note that there are some a question and answer area. If you're looking at this on directly on the webinar, you can utilize the question and answer feature. If you're looking at it through Facebook, you can use the chat at the bottom, and you can utilize those ways to build this this community and this conversation back and forth. But let's talk about attracting families to your practice very specifically. Again, I'm Mike Green with the Dental Practice Insiders. So I think the first thing that we've got to really look at is what is it that really defines the family in your area. Now, the hard thing is that there's so many different kinds of families. Could be grandparents that live in a household. There could be a single family. Could be families that are built up of two completely different cultures. You might have gay or lesbian families in your area, or you could have just the traditional cleaver nuclear family that might be in your practice area, built up of a mom and dad and 2.3 kids. And so it really does kind of depend on what defines a family for your particular area. Now, here is the really, honestly, one of the hardest parts about not only marketing specifically, but especially being a business owner, a practice owner, and thinking about marketing. This is one of the hardest things, is a true marketer is agnostic. It's difficult to go to a situation or to a new practice area and try not to apply your specific thoughts, your specific feelings, your specific life experience that you have had with the family that you grew up in, and apply that to what you think is families in your particular area. So whether you grew up in the Midwest or whatever, it doesn't matter. The area that you're practicing in, you have to be absolutely agnostic and be willing to accept what a family is, how it's defined for your area. And again, think like a marketer, because now you're going to have to apply specific marketing approaches and strategies directly to those type of families. Now, this is where I give a pitch for the importance of demographic and psychographic research for your area. Now, we have a direct partnership with Dr. Demographics. Now, many of you maybe even know me and my name from my work that I've done over there with Scott on Dr. Demographics and the research and all of the information that we share. But that is an area that you have to be focused on and have to have a clear understanding of. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult for you to not be agnostic when it comes to families. Now, if you've watched some of my trainings in the past, or you have heard me talk or listened to the podcast, you know that I define families in typically three different categories. Not just families, but frankly, all individuals as well. The first one is family focused. The second one is money focused. And the third one is self focused. Now, when we're talking about families specifically, it's important to know what it is that turns the crank of the psychographic segments within these different groups. So you might immediately think, well, all families fit into that family-focused group, and that is so far from the truth. That is not the case, again, depending on the stage and the makeup of what that family is. that you're working with and you're treating in your particular neighborhood. So let's talk specifically about the family focus group. So the first one is that they're looking for convenience. They want to make sure that they're the typical soccer mom, right? They want to make sure that practice is close to home, it's on their route, it's next to the grocery store that they're already going to 3 times a day, it's by the schools, it's by whatever, right? They want to make sure that their life traffic route, the route that they've created in their head, geographically makes sense for where they're wanting to go. And so convenience is a huge deal for family-focused psychographic segments of the family population. The second one is reputation. Man, so important. If you're a mom, you're looking at how well that doctor has on their Google reviews, their Yelp reviews, some of these other areas. There's playing a huge impact on that decision of whether going to choose you or choose the guy down the road based on that reputation. So if you are in an area that has family-focused families, that again, typical soccer mom type families, and you are not managing your Google reputation, man, you are crazy, and you're missing out on a tremendous opportunity to work with families that are moving into that area. The third one is they got to make sure that you have a lot of personality. They're not going to work or want to work with a doctor that does not connect to their children, does not connect to mom and dad, and so they've got to make sure that there's a lot of personality. Oftentimes, foreign doctors who have a language barrier struggle in areas like this because they have, not that they're not great people and have great personalities, but because of the language barrier, they have a difficult time connecting with the families in some of these areas. And so that's something you've got to look at. You've got to put a lot of personality in the families and the patient experiences that you're having with that family. They want to make sure, they want to work with people that look like them, act like them, walk like them, talk like them. That's something that's usually really important to family-focused practices and family-focused areas. The next one is that the family has to, or I'm sorry, that the office has to be very family-oriented. It's got to make sure that it's decorated for that, it's set up for that there's a kids area, that there's that it's developed so the family feels super comfortable when they walk through that door. Nobody wants to bring their screaming, snotty-nosed kids into a dental spa or high-end cosmetic-type dental practice. They don't want to do that. They're not comfortable. So they want to make sure that they're in a practice that they feel comfortable in. The last one is that they're really highly influenced by referrals. If that family moves into town and somebody from across the street, or maybe somebody that they go to church with, or somebody that's on the PTA with them, gives them a really strong referral for a doctor, I would say 8 times out of 10, that family is going to end up there. They're really influenced by referrals. And so, again, if you're in an area that has a lot of family-focused families, I realize it kind of sounds redundant there, but in that psychographic segments, you want to make sure that you have an amazing and a very strong and fluid referral program for those families. So let's talk for a second about money-focused families and what it is that they do. So money-focused families are, and again, going back to agnostics, you might immediately be thinking that just is low-income families. But the truth is that's actually not correct. Yes, a lot of lower-income families' neighborhoods are really money-focused, but money-focused families could also be middle-income families who have a very tight budget that make good money, but are on a budget and maybe can't afford, they don't qualify for Medicaid, but they also can't afford insurance. That's that family too. And high-income families that are just persnickety when it comes to spending a dollar. They're also very money-focused. And so you've got to, again, understand the psychographic segments in those areas so you know the type of offers that you need to be sharing with those families. So the first one is they are very respondent to offers. They want to see an offer. That's how they buy. They're always looking at offers. They're looking at money-saving opportunities, coupons, those type of things. That's what attracts them, and that's what they're always on the lookout for. And so that could be done through a loss leader opportunity on your side. Maybe you're going to give them a free whitening treatment or a discounted, free x-rays or something of that nature with the cleaning. they're very, very apt to follow through with those type of offers. Those type of families are. They also want to look at payment flexibility. They want you to be very bold about the ways that they can pay you. Is that an in-house payment plan? Is that a third-party payment plan? Is that a cash discount? There's lots of different ways that you can spin that top, but they want to make sure that you have a lot of payment flexibility options within your practice. The next thing is speed. Now, specifically with very low income families and very high income families, there's one thing that they're really looking for, and that is that instant gratification. For the low income families, and I'm going to make a generalized statement not to offend anyone, but oftentimes lower income families are not looking very far ahead in their life. They're looking about the end of the day or the end of the week. And so when they call up for an appointment, they expect to be able to get in that same day. And oftentimes they've left something to an emergency. And so they do need to see somebody quickly. So, emergency options or schedule often works really, really well with that particular group. The high income families, they also want speed, but they want it because they feel like they've got the money that they're going to spend. And if they're going to spend it, then they want 100% awesome service. So speed is also very important to them. They also want very, very clear value of what it is that they're spending their dollar on. So you have to be very specific about the treatment that you're going to do and exactly how much it's going to cost. Another thing we've seen work really, really well with money-focused families is an in-house plan, in-house dental plans. That's been extremely successful with money-focused families. Seen that work with practices all over the country that we've been working with. Okay, let's talk about self-focused families. Now, self-focused families are typically in that retirement age or near retirement age, or they're young and they're the metro renter psychographic segments who are young. They've got a good career, so they've got money, but they do not have kids yet. And so everything is about them and their experiences. Cosmetics works really, really well with this group. They want the latest and greatest. They want to make sure that their doctor that they're working with is very, very competent. And so if you've got a 60-year-old retired executive, he's going to have a hard time developing a relationship or having the confidence in a guy that's right out of dental school and just starting his practice. That's always going to be a gap. And so if you're that doctor that's young, that might not be the segment that you want to be focused on. Not that you can't bridge that gap. There's certainly ways. But it's going to be much more difficult than the doctor who is a more experienced. Whether he's more competent or not is another conversation, but a doctor that's more experienced is going to have an easier time connecting with that self-focused psychographic group. The other thing they want is value-added offers. Again, they want to not only get their dental work done, but they want to get a massage and have Botox as well. So again, that dental spa experience often works very, very well for the self-focused psychographic family segments in an area. Now that we kind of have those defined and we know exactly which of those work, I want to share a couple of ways that you can specifically interject your offers, your practice in targeting these different groups depending on your area. Now, I have to pause for a second, and I get a little nervous whenever I share these strategies because, frankly, it takes more than just a quick conversation in a webinar. Again, if you're good at something, never do it for free. I'm going to give you these for free, but every time I do have doctors say, hey, I tried that, it didn't work. There's time and investment and experience and knowledge and A/B testing and trying this and that because every market is different. And so do not get frustrated and be honest with yourself. If you are not going to spend the time on a particular campaign to learn why it's not working, you're not going to be successful. And that's okay because you have third-party providers just like us here at the Dental Practice Insiders that can help you deploy these type of strategies and be successful in your practice. Okay, so let's talk about what families want, what type of offers they want. Let's go to that family-focused group. I found that that group wants the very slow burn culture type strategy. So they want to see crazy dress up day on Halloween on their Facebook page. They want to see you congratulating a high school football team on their recent win. They want to see you at the ribbon cutting of a Habitat for Humanity house and that you've worked on it. Those strategies work really, really well with family-focused families in those psychographic segments in an area, those slow burn strategies. Now, the doctors that we work with that are doing these, they have to be patient. They have to understand that it's slow burn. It's going to take a while for those things to pay off because, frankly, trust takes a while to earn, and it takes a while to be deserved. And so you are going to have to invest on this over the long term in order to be successful. Now, I will tell you that the doctors that stay the course and continually invest in this type of strategy, the payoff is massive. And if you want to build a legacy practice in an area that has a lot of family-focused segments, this is the way to do it, and it will cement your future for many, many years to come. But it does take investment and time. So on the flip side of that, what are some things that you can do in the family-focused segment to get a little bit quicker patients through the door? I found that time and event-triggered advertising works really, really well. As an example, some of you have seen my training on the new move-in strategy that we utilize through Facebook ads. In other words, somebody moves to town and they change their lives-in status from this city to the next. We can trigger our ads to start at that moment that that person triggers that ad, and which means that we're delivering our content and our offers to those people well before they get the little packet in the mail from the Chamber of Commerce that has 15 doctors' new patient specials. We're giving to them well before anybody else has an opportunity to talk to them about different dental options within their community. This strategy works really, really well for those family-focused segments in an area, especially to get new patients quick. Okay, let's talk about money-focused groups. So money-focused, one of the things that we see that works is direct external marketing strategies. So again, that's Facebook ads with very, very clear demographics of who you want to be targeting. That's Google ads on, again, some really aggressive and disruptive type offers and specials that are, again, money focused. And the third one is direct mail. Direct mail works really good with this particular group once it qualifies. And again, you can go back and search my trainings that I've done on direct mail to understand when direct mail qualifies for an area, because there are some things that you need to do first before you ever spend a penny on direct mail. And if you don't do them, then you're going to waste an incredible amount of money. The next thing is, and I talked about this earlier, you need to have a very, very aggressive referral program with money-focused individuals. Thing about it with money-focused individuals is they usually hang out with other money-focused individuals. And that actually is true with all of these categories. And so you need to have that aggressive referral program in order for them to be successful in finding your practice. Now let's talk about the self-focused group. Now what we find, again, is very timely and specific service offers works really well with this particular group. As an example, again, some of you have seen my trainings on when to do dental implants or when to advertise dental implants. Turns out, based on the research that we've done and the testing and all over the country, is that the first 3 weeks in July are one of the greatest, best, and most effective times to spend money on dental implant advertising. Why? Is it because it's summer? Is it because people are barbecuing? Is it that people are hanging out with families and going to the beach? I don't know. But for whatever the reason is, that is the time that most people are looking at dental implants and doing those type of searches. And so your dollar is going to be better spent in marketing if you do it during those few weeks. Now, there is some other times of the year that you also want to be spending money on dental implant advertising. But again, that's the research that you need to know to make sure that you're, again, with your marketing, you're putting in a nickel and getting back a dime. The next one that we see that works really well with self-focus, again, that's retirees or the newlyweds, is the golf course strategy. It does, again, take time. It's kind of a slow burn strategy, but you're going to the networking events that I hate. You're going to the golf outings and the sponsored hole and the blah, 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 blah. All the things that I hate to do, but are something that works really, really well with self-focused focused psychographic groups. And the last one is the build a dream strategy. You're telling them, hey, you want to get that dream job, or hey, you're looking for that next relationship in your life, or you're looking to look like this person or have this person's success. What you need to have is that fantastic smile. So you're building that dream. Is that the only thing that stands in their way of that next job or that next spouse or whatever it is having that dental issue solved. That's the build the dream strategy. Again, there's a whole lot more to talk about with that, but that's a strategy that works really well with the self-focused psychographic segment. Okay, let me give you a couple of quick examples of some ads that kind of fall into this segment. These are totally real. I totally stole them from the internet. Most of these are not people that I'm associated with, so I'm not going to comment whether I like these or don't like these, but these are examples on that I found that fit this. So the first one is an orthodontic practice. Obviously, it looks like you've got two different doctors. They're rooting for two different teams. Looks like they're playing each other on the playoffs. The thing I want you to notice, though, is look at the engagement on this Facebook post. They've got 437 likes or loves or little smiley faces. They've got 286 comments and 230 shares. Let me ask you this. When was the last time one of your Facebook posts got that much engagement? It's probably been a little while or ever. And so that's a great example of somebody that's being very, very personality and culture focused in their advertising. And yes, is there a direct offer here? There's not, but this is, again, a slow burn strategy that's going to work really well in building the neighborhood and community's trust in these two good doctors. So the second one is an online special, $49 new patient special, cleanings, x-ray, all kind of the typical thing that's done. But the thing I like about it is that it's just specifically an online special. So they're not probably looking at or targeting somebody that doesn't use technology or doesn't use wherever that they've placed this ad. Could be Facebook, could be their website, could be another method like Groupon or whatnot. They're looking at people specifically that are going to be in that area, and they're targeting them because they know the demographics of that person. Obviously, we're looking here, it's a kid, so it's probably a general dentist that's family focused. That's a great opportunity. The third one I really like because it answers a question. No insurance. So again, this is not targeting a group, family that's in Medicaid area. They're not targeting somebody that probably is a fee-for-service type family, or I'm sorry, a high-end cosmetic family. They're targeting probably that middle income sector that can't fit dental insurance into their family budget, may or may not be getting it through work. And so they're targeting them specifically. And if you look at that family fits that bill. And so they're giving them exactly, they're talking exactly who they want to talk to, and they're giving them exactly what that family's probably focused on, as they're probably a money-focused family. Okay, another example. It's a great doctor. It's actually a friend of mine. He's an amazing doctor who is not Hispanic, but does speak Spanish fluently and is in an area of the country that has a big number of Hispanic people that live around there. And so he has done a fantastic job of speaking to them in their language. They don't expect to get an offer in the mail that's in English, and they're going to have to figure it out whether they are bilingual or only speak Spanish. Maybe they're first generation Hispanic immigrant. And he's done a great job doing this. So again, it's talking to people where they're at and giving them the offer that they need. Last example that I'll give you is, again, on the left, you see a dental spa showing kind of the massage, the whole thing. It's very, very comfortable. I'm a father of 3 kids. I would not be comfortable bringing my 3 kids to this practice. However, if I'm in a situation, just my wife and I, you bet, I would rather be here because I don't want to listen to other kids scream. Even though I'm a father and I love kids, I want to go to a place that's kid-free, and I want to have the full experience. And so something like that is going to be very appealing to that particular group that's self-focused. Again, here's another example of a teeth whitening. It's a value add. It's something that they're being given in their practice that is creating that opportunity for them to come to the practice and experience exactly what is going to match them specifically for for who they are, right? The psychographic segment that they are. Now, I understand that I went really fast and this is a lot of information, but these are the strategies that will work if applied correctly. So here's the questions that I would ask myself if I were you. A, do I really know the psychographic segments in my own community? And B, am I applying my own predefined definitions of what a family is when I'm trying to put together an offer as a doctor, as a professional practice owner? And see if I don't have either of those two things, or I don't have any idea about them, do I need some help? Let me make an invitation to you. Hopefully this information was interesting and you can take it and apply it. If it's overwhelming for you, if you'd like more information, you can go to dentalpracticeinsiders.com. We've got some options there that you might be able to find some more information on. You're welcome to read that and to go through our contact information to reach out. But with that, we'll go ahead and end this segment. I've gone even a little long than I was going to, but hopefully this information is interesting for you. Again, we have a tremendous amount of experience when it comes to marketing dental practices. So if there's something that you'd like us to talk about, you're certainly welcome to reach out and let us know a topic, and we'll dive into it a little deeper. Until then, I'm Mike Green with the Dental Practice Insiders. We'll see you on the next live recording.